Hello and welcome to October. Let's have a look at your collective tarot reading for the month of October from my October tarot spread that I created. October is a fabulous month. It's a month of change. Now this month particularly, let me just grab it up for you actually, if I can, yeah. This month particularly, I'm going to move that out of the way so I can read what I wrote, is super exciting because we've got lots of planets that have been in retrograde that are now going direct. So there's lots of change coming in this month, particularly positive changes, and we all need that after the last the last month really, especially with what's going on in the world. So we have Mercury, the planet that loves to go retrograde, is now going direct. That is today, October the 2nd. Now that allows us to move forward with what we want to progress with. When it's retrograde, it's a really good time to go back over things, particularly work things, particularly things of projects, particularly things to do with our communication and technology. So if you've been working on a project or if you've been working on something that you've been trying to get off the ground, but you've had to go back over things, you've had to redo things, or you've had delays in things starting, now you're going to start to see a shift. You're going to start to see, we've got about 2 weeks before things really kick off there because we're in that shadow side of it, but things are going to start moving there. This is going to allow your transformations to really move forward and a completion energy to come on. It gives you greater clarity as well, so really good for seeing things a lot clearer and, like I said, having that movement. Now we also, on the 8th of October, we have Pluto going direct. Now this has been in retrograde since April the 29th, and this is very much of a spiritual transformation there. Pluto is the planet of death, the planet of rebirth, the planet of change. So things that have come to an end, things that have died off, things that you've had to go back over to really heal from karmically. Excuse me, got a bit of a chesty going on. Things that you may have had to finish up, now you can say goodbye to that. Now you're able to let that go, let that past situation and things to do with changing and healing and rebirth are really going to start to move forward, allowing a strong completion energy vibration around you, a transition, really gaining a higher knowledge of you, of where you want to go and what you want to be. Then we have the Aries full moon on the 9th of October. Now, the Aries full moon can be a little bit, Aries is can be a volatile planet sign, and it can be a very fast-paced sign as well. It's also very fun. So as we come into the full moon, this looks at releasing things to do that may have triggered old wounds, may have triggered aggression in us, may have triggered anything volatile in us. So it releases that. That full moon is going to allow us to move on again from anything with a lower vibration, moving us into a new vibration. And that passion that we may have had on hold, it's going to allow us to release that. It's really like an inner firework, really, that's just releasing everything that's been bubbling up over time. Perhaps any fiery energy that you no longer want, we're now able to move on from that. And being the first sign of the zodiac in the full moon there, Aries, this is going to allow, again, a fresh start to really let go of the old and move into a new phase. Then we have this amazing portal, 17th to the 19th of October, the Arcturus Gateway. This is a portal of higher frequency, and it supports the energy of our awakening. So again, raising that vibration, and this brings on a really positive aspect to our abundance. So the things that you're moving forward with, the things you're creating now in your life, and the raising of that vibration to do these new things, new energy, really going to bring that abundance from that portal energy that opens up October 17th to the 19th. Then we have Venus, star point. Now this aligns with the sun. Now the sun is ourselves, Venus is love. So this is really transforming us into our own power and really allowing us to shine with love, to shine with light, bringing again our passions forward. Very good for romance, very good for relationships, not just with others, but very much with ourselves as well. Helping us to feel more connected to ourselves, enjoying the beauty of being who we are, warts and all. Then we have Scorpio season, which starts on the 23rd of October. Now Scorpio very much into transitions, death, birth, and transforming things. So again, old energies come back around us to be released, to be let go as we move into a new year, a new chapter, a new zone, a new vibe. So very much again releasing energy with that Scorpio. Trusting your intuition as well. Scorpio, very intuitive. Now we need to be careful about our secret side, we need to be careful about our paranoia side, and perhaps any jealousy that may spark up as we come into Scorpio. Let it go. Don't hold on to it, let it go. October the 23rd also sees Saturn go direct. Now Saturn is the planet of restrictions and the planet of limitation, and the planet that can hold us back there. Now it's a controlling planet because it's to do with limitations and restrictions. So this goes direct, which means that our limitations can start to move forward. We won't be as stuck as perhaps that what we were. And this allows us to end karmic cycles, karmic debt, and again moving into a new chapter, moving into a new phase. It's been retrograde since June the 4th there, so any old energies now karmically get released, and there's a freedom. Be interesting to see what goes on in the world and the bigger picture there. Scorpio new moon eclipse comes in on October the 25th. This brings in our soul evolution. So again, more expanding. This brings in more of a raise of a vibration and understanding our deep self, understanding our shadow side. Scorpio energy is very much working with our shadow side. What side of us that we don't really like, but we need to own it in order to move forward from it. Now, shadow work is really important. Shadow work is things that rile you about other people. We're all connected as one. So if something grates us about someone else, it's a connection to us. It's something within us that maybe we've buried, maybe we've been told to put a lid on it, perhaps as a child. For example, as a child, you're told to share everything, and you might not want to share everything, but you've got this adult telling you to share your favourite doll or to share your favourite sweets, and you're like, I don't really want to. So it puts us in a phase where we think that holding on to something, not sharing, is bad, is a negative. So therefore, when we see somebody else who doesn't share, it creates something. It makes us feel like we don't like that person because they don't share. It creates that insecurity, that vulnerable side that we've put a lid on. Once we understand our shadow side and we can understand what makes us tick, what makes us not tick, what riles us, we can then work with it. And you know what? Once you understand your shadow side a lot more, things don't rile you so much, because you think, do you know what? Crack on, person, for not sharing. I wish I could have done that a bit more. And we start to empower it a bit more. So the shadow side becomes weaker. It's that dark that ends up seeing the light. So it becomes more about the light and more about opening up ourselves. So Scorpio season and that new moon solar eclipse is very much working on your shadow side and what things rile you, what things annoy you that are connected to other people there. It will always resonate to something within ourselves there. Then we have the Mars retrograde. Now Mars rules Aries. This is on the October the 30th. Mars is the planet of aggression. Like I said, the Mars is similar to Aries, is the planet of war. Mars is the planet of not so much chaos, but aggressive energy, really, power energy. So when it's used in the right way, it can be very, very powerful. When it's used in the wrong way, it can be very destructive energy there. So the Mars retrograde can bring a time to assess things around us, where we look at what we are creating, where we look at reassessing everything to do with our motivations there, and where we're looking at what we want to stir and what we don't want to stir, what's going to work in our favour, what's not going to work in our favour. Then October the 31st, we have Halloween, the time when connecting to the pagan roots, when we look at our ancestors, when we look at when we look at where we've come from there, and where we thank the universe in the past, where we thank our ancestors from the past for bringing us where we are now. And this may be ancestors like just like 1 or 2 generations previous, but also 5, 6, 7, 8 generations previous, when we look at what they went through to be able to bring us to where we are now. Now, I just remembered that I forgot to do something, but never mind, I'll do that in a moment. So let's have a look at the tarot spread. Let's have a look at our tarot spread that I created for October. I'm going to move this over again. Okay, so first one that we've got looking up, this is a general, this is a collective, is the October vibe. So we've got all that planetary activity going on, new beginnings, shifting and changes. What do we have for our October vibe? Okay, ooh, we have the reevaluation card. Now the Seven of Cups here is the October vibe. So this looking at our emotional state, looking at what makes us tick, and looking at offers and opportunities that are being presented to us. Now we may think that something is going to be marvellous, we may think that we've been offered something really, really good, and then it turns out not to be. This card can be like, you know, you get a shiny ring from a cheap tattoo place and it looks all lovely, and then you get it home, a couple of hours later it goes all dull. So it's asking you to be careful what you get involved in, to what you pick up, to what you say yes to. All is not clear. Now emotionally it's saying to you that you need to be reassessing your energy at the moment. So this month, as we look through all those direct planets and that Mars retrograde, we're really reassessing where we want to be, what we want to bring into the new, what we want to let go of the old. What is it that's being hidden around us as well? We've got this shadow side coming in here. Perhaps something looks really terrible, is never going to work, but when we look into it, when we do a bit more research, we find out that it's going to work. So doing a little bit more research, digging deep and looking at all angles, all opportunities, but not face on, underneath the surface there. What do you need to finish or close now? What do we need to finish or close now? Okay, oh, interesting, the Page of Swords. Now, for me, the Page of Swords, although it can be connected to a younger person, it's also very much to do with your mind and ideas, and having lots of ideas that are buzzing around your head. So what do we need to finish or close? We need to make a point of all those things that we've got running through our heads. How many heads we got? Head. We need to be thinking like, how are we actually going to get that out and do something about it? Stop procrastinating, really. So what do we need to finish? What do we need to close? Is having all that monkey mind, having all those different things going down. Write it down. Air signs, swords, very much to do with either technology or very much to do with communication, writing things down, getting it out of our heads so that we can then see clearly what it is that we've got to deal with. Then you can start to tick things off. So try to get things out of your head, try to put them on paper. That's what we need to deal with now. Opportunities ready to be picked. I don't know why I used the word picked, but perhaps it's the autumn pumpkin season. Opportunities ready to be picked. Let's have a look. Three of Cups, love it. Now, Three of Cups is all about having fun, and actually it's got a little pumpkin in the background, so perfect there. Opportunities is all about having fun, letting your hair down, saying yes to new things, spending time with your girl tribe, spending time with people that are going to make you feel good, your sisterhood there particularly, getting in touch with your feminine side, even you guys, getting in touch with your feminine side. This card is about letting your hair down and just having some fun. It's about not taking things too serious. Now, what was the question? Opportunities ready to be picked. So say yes to your nights out. Say yes. Do you know, yesterday I wasn't feeling well, I had a bit of this chesty on me, and a friend said to me, do you want to come out for a drink? And I was like, oh, wow. In my head I was like, I really want to just have a hot water bottle and a cup of tea and stay in. But I was like, do you know what, I'm going to go out. And we had such a good time. I didn't drink, I just had lemonade, but it was such a good evening. It was really, really nice. And I could have easily said no and just wrapped up, but it was good to get out. I'm so glad I went out. So sometimes you've got to push yourself out of that comfort zone and get out and about and have some friends. So take the opportunity, take that opportunity. Important lessons you are learning. That's the next vibe. My husband asked me a minute ago to run his bath for him, and I said no, mucking about. And I actually did forget, and I've just heard him come up the stairs and run it. He probably thought I was serious. Okay, important lessons you are learning. Ooh, Knight of Cups, I love it. This is about romance. This is about stepping up your relationships. This is about opening your heart and taking that next step into perhaps the unknown, into perhaps a bit of vulnerability, but going forward, embracing love, embracing creativity, embracing something that is going to make your heart flutter. So things, what it is, I forgot. Important lessons that you are learning is to make yourself vulnerable, to open yourself up and to take that next step, particularly in romance or spiritual or creative ventures there. And then this month's message, this October month's message. Five of Swords. So really you want to look at where you're putting your energies. If you start to think, is it worth it? Can I be bothered? Probably not. This card asks you to pick your battles wisely. Something may be bubbling over around you where you're just thinking, I can't be bothered, it's just not worth it. Sometimes it's better to let someone win. It's better to let someone have all the cake, because then they'll get fat and you won't. So this card says a short-term loss is a long-term gain. So re-evaluate, check in where you're putting your energies. Check in with yourself, what is worth your energy. Is it really worth it? Now this card can come up, for instance, say like there's two of you battling for a job and it's a really good job, but the other person gets it, and you might think, oh, okay, that's a bit annoying, but do you know what? They might not have any time left with their friends and family because they're working so hard with this new job. So although you might have lost, you've actually ended up with a gain because you can spend your time with your friends and family there. If there's battles going on, sometimes it's easier, and this card suggests just let people crack on. Don't put your energy where it's going to be wasted. Walk away, admit defeat to something. Yeah, you got it, mate, crack on. But in the long run, you're going to be the one smiling there. So the message is really look at what's important, what is going to be worth your energy, and what is not going to be worth your energy there. And just step away from any drama or anything that don't deserve you. That is your October spread tarot messages. So like I said, very general, very collective, but hopefully you can take those messages for you, take what you can from it, and have a lovely October. If you want to book your own personal reading, just get in touch via my website, katemay.co.uk. Happy October!